Welcome to this week's code cookie. In this week's code cookie, I'm going to show you how to serialize your form into a JSON object. But first, when is this useful? It's useful when you need to work with objects or arrays. In some cases, you need to be able to create many objects in a form. Like you say, for instance, you have a number of text fields to define a person, and you need to have a button that adds this person to a list, and you want to actually create a list of persons in your form. And once you order the service, you want to do something with each and every person, like creating them or something. It's also useful when you have a lot of fields, like you have over 50 fields that you want to bind to a single activity. There's a limitation to Workflow Manager where you can't have more than 50 variables bound as input to one workflow activity. And there's some stuff you can do to extend the number of variables there, but that's pretty much not recommended. So this is a better approach at working with very many variables. Okay, so this is my form, and this is basically just a bunch of text fields here. And what I want to do is to put these in a JSON object. So what can we do? Well, we can put a hidden field here. We can call it object, bind it to an object variable, and we go into VS Code. This is the function that I prepared. I'm just going to copy that, and we're going to edit the JavaScript here on load. So now we have access to this function, and we can use it whenever we like. So let's say on submit, we say that we serialize the whole form, and we put it into this field, this hidden field. And then we can access this variable in the workflow to start doing stuff with this JSON. So let's try. I refresh here, and the function was called serialize form. So I can just start with writing some stuff here. And if I go in here and we use this function, we get this Java object here. We cannot bind this directly to our hidden field here, because Zervicepoint can't handle this kind of object out just by default. So we need to stringify it, and all browsers have support to stringify by typing JSON.stringify, and we throw in serialize form in there, and we get a JSON in string representation, and that's something that we can work with. So I'm going to go back to on submit here, and we'll actually remove this part, and we'll replace it with the part that I just wrote out in the console. So we actually send in the string itself. Do we have... That's enough, yes. So I'm saving here. And we need to have something happening. We need to know how to work with this in the workflow afterwards. So I prepared a little activity called new person. It only takes an object JSON. So I'm going to bind that to the field called object. So whenever someone submits this form, this code will get run, and the object data will be put to the object variable, and we connect it to this activity. And if we check the code of that activity, The only thing we do is export this to a file so we can have a look at it afterwards, and then we do a little magic here, which I will soon show for you. So we save this, we start filling this out. Okay, so now we ordered it. Let's see if something happened. Okay, so we can go in here. No, we can go in here, and I can take object, JSON, import, temp, JSON.json, and if we have a look at it now, it's just exactly like we put it in from the JavaScript. But if we run this afterwards, we get a real object from it. And I can access tf first name dot value to get the value from that. And with this JavaScript function, we have support for arrays as well. So this is just a little bit how you can work with JSON, and it's actually very useful. Once you started doing it, it almost becomes a preferred way of working. Okay, so thanks for this week. Have a nice one, and talk to you soon. Kisses and hugs. Bye.